Oh snap, I almost didn't see you guys. Probably because I'm standing in front of the Mini Mega here at Camp Woodward. My name is Chase Ross. If you guys are new to the channel, after 15 years of riding, I can't believe it, I'm finally here. And today, I'm gonna show you guys an entire tour, starting from all of the ramps, all of the parks, all of the craziness to where we're even staying. So if you guys are a noob, like myself, you're gonna love today's video. And it's also gonna help those of you guys who are on the fence trying to decide, should I come to Camp Woodward? This is gonna push you over the edge and get your guys' butts out here because this place is absolutely insane. We're going to be starting today's adventure off at Bud's Barn, which of course is where we're going to be staying this entire weekend at Camp Woodward. Then we're going to work our way around the map, and of course, we're going to be saving the best park for last. So you're definitely going to want to stick around till the end. But anyways, back to Bud's Barn. There's a parking lot right off to the side where you can park your car and then walk over and bring your stuff in. Upon entering, this place is absolutely sick. There's a literal firing pole right in the middle of the building. So you can go from the upper floor to the lower floor and really have a fun time. There's a full-size kitchen so you guys can cook everything you need to cook, and you have all the dishes there that you need to have. There's a basketball hoop, there's a foosball table, and there's even a pool table upstairs. And then on the upper loft above everything, there's a super cool chill hangout TV couch section. There's about 8 rooms total in Bud's Barn, and where we're staying we have 2 bunk beds and an entire bathroom, which of course is really nice after you've been sweating all day. There's also a lodge for those of you guys who don't want to stay in Bud's Barn. This looks like quite the upgrade. But enough about where we're staying, let's go dive into the first skate park. So stepping outside of the front doors of Bud's Barn, we walk down the street not even a couple hundred feet and we encounter the Street League Plaza. This is honestly a street rider's dream. There's tons of stairs, rails, banks, and gaps, and there's even a super solid hip in the corner. So if you want to ride a street section and want that buttery smooth surface, then this park is perfect for you. Now moving our way just a little bit up the hill, we've now entered the Snake Run. And this is one of the biggest snake runs I've ever seen in my entire life. Within this snake run, you have multiple lines, multiple airs, multiple jumps, multiple grinds, and so much that you can just hit on your way down. It's really crazy. And to cap it off, the view is absolutely mind-blowing. On your way down, you're just completely encased around mountains. So as you're going down, you just have nothing but beautiful views as you weave in and out of jumps down the snake run. Now that we're at the bottom, we're gonna go ahead and mosey our way back up to the top where we're gonna encounter the cage. This skate park alone is literally bigger than just most skate parks. This park was built by Team Payne, so for those of you guys who remember Ollie Skate Park, those builders should sound familiar to you, probably because it's the same builder. This park has a massive bowl with pool coping on it and a ginormous volcano. There's spines, there's boobs, and the amount of lines you can link inside of this park is seriously endless. Oh, and for those of you guys who like minions, for some reason there's like a whole bunch of little minion rocks painted on the outside of this park. I don't know why, but I just thought that was really funny and I had to share it in today's video. But anyways, moving on to the next park now. So looking back at the map, we're gonna go ahead and move our way onto the next skate park. This is the playground. This park is both indoors and actually outdoors. That's right, this park has an outdoor little street plaza section just outside of the cool indoor skate park. It has some of the coolest skate light patterns I have ever seen in my entire life. You might think this is brick, but this is actually skate light. I just had to take a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship that went into building these ramps. It just looks so cool to me. But now heading our way inside, we're gonna encounter one of the most famous half pipes you guys have probably ever seen. And it's just recently been resurfaced with the new skate light. This is a super grippy material that has like little hexagon shapes in it that makes it so much fun to ride and really nice and grippy so you don't slip out often. Now right behind the half pipe there is a cool little tight bowl section that you can kind of link in between with the half pipe, and next to that there is a rail to foam pit. Let me repeat, a rail to foam pit. I know that's kind of weird, right? I've never actually seen a rail grind into a foam pit, but it totally makes sense because I'm over here thinking like foam pits, quarter pipes, and resis, But for those of you street riders that don't want to go full send on the concrete skate park, this rail to foam pit is perfect for you, and then you can hit the exact same copy and paste down rail next to it. Then moving our way to the backside of the playground, there is a cool little mini foam pit and mini resi. This is about a 2.5 foot takeoff if I had to guess. It's perfect for those of you guys who are not comfortable with big box jumps yet, because you can go right to the foam pit and go straight to the little mini resi next to it. Later, I'll show you guys the really cool resi in lot 8. That's where all the bangers go down, but you gotta stay later for the video to see that one. Now, looking back at the map and traveling not even 100 steps up the road, we're gonna hit Cloud 9. This park is another super famous one. It has a W half-pipe spine, a vert half-pipe to foam and to resi, a pump track just behind the vert half-pipe, and probably one of the most famous quarter to resis that you will have ever had seen in your entire life. There's a resi spine, and there's a huge monster foam pit, resi, and box jump in the back. This is awesome because you can test out your tricks into the foam pit over here and then go straight to the resi in the back. Although I should mention, it's a 6-foot quarter pipe to foam, whereas the resi quarter pipe is actually a 7-foot quarter pipe to resi, so it is slightly different, but you can still test yourself in the foam pit before going full send on the resi. Really, this entire park is just made for progression. Cloud 9 is just one of those skate parks that you've probably always heard riders talk about. Even if you've never been to this park before, you probably know it, just because of how much it's been ridden over the years. So if you're at Woodward, you definitely gotta check out Cloud 9. Now we're gonna change things up on this next park because we're moving our way up to the launch pad. Now, I'm pretty sure this actually just used to be a giant parking lot because you can still see parking lot slots on the ground. And there's also just a whole bunch of random ramps slapped on top. But it does have a few really solid quarter pipes and a couple DIY ramps around the entire parking lot. And it has one of the best half pipes at this park. It's a beautiful 6-foot half pipe, and for those of you guys who know, of course, I love half pipes, so this one is really nice. So I had a blast when I got to ride this ramp. There's also a mini half pipe spine and the super famous W grind ledge. I've seen so many famous riders riding this W grind ledge, and I really had no clue where it was in Woodward, so I was super stoked when I got to see it here at the launch pad. Oh, and I should mention, there's an entire parkour section in the back. It's really actually pretty sick. And next to that, there's a big old bonfire spot. Now, flashing back to that map, we're going to travel all the way down the hill where we're going to find the sand lot. Now, this might be the name just tripping me up, making me think that, hey, sand lot and sand, but for some reason, I just couldn't help but notice the ramps actually have a sand-like color. Also, this is one of the brightest parks at Woodward. I think because it's all made out of concrete and it's indoors, it really gives a nice vibrant feel to it, almost as if you're riding an outdoor section, but the beauty of it being indoors is you can shred this park even when it's raining. And it has a solid mix of park and street. Surrounded around the rails and banks are quarter pipes on both sides, so you can really go back and forth and really maintain your speed throughout the entire park. This is a great park for you hybrid riders who like rails and banks but still want to be able to hit a couple quarter pipe tricks back and forth along the way. Up next, the name says it all, the Progression Center. There's some mini quarter pipes, some little rails, some small banks. This is the perfect park for testing and learning new skills, especially if you're a new rider, which is why I'm sure they call it the Progression Center. In the back, it has a dope half pipe. This is really a nice half pipe. It has a 3-foot section and then a 5-foot section that goes into a foam pit. So if you're trying flares or really any air trick, this would be a great spot to try those at. And then in the middle of the Progression Center, there's an entire parkour section and a rock climbing wall. I had a blast goofing around on this thing for a little bit, and then also the parkour section made it super fun because it was a nice little change up from riding skate parks all day long. There's also some trampolines right in the front that make this entire building a super fun spot to not only ride but also just hang out and goof around. So once you're done progressing those skills at the Progression Center, we're going to move our way down the map, passing the front entrance and the camp office, where we'll stumble upon the F-Bowl. And I think we can all understand why it's called the F-Bowl. It's literally in the shape of an F. I mean, come on. There's no coping, and it's very, very flowy. And it even had a swimming pool the day I was there. So if you guys are just looking to kind of jib around and just have some fun, but not really, you know, go serious, or maybe you guys just like the feeling of floating around with no coping, this park is perfect for you. But just next to the F-Bowl, we're going to look back at the map real quick and go like 2 feet over to the school. This is a cool little park. The ramps range in size and give a nice variety of obstacles to hit. And again, we get to see the lovely skate-like brickwork like we saw at the playground just a little bit earlier in today's video. There's also some banks and some hips, and there's even a really cool Red Bull wall ride that was probably one of my favorite obstacles to hit at this park. Now before we move on to the next park, I thought I should point out that there's actually a pond right behind the school. Dude, this is the luckiest groundhog ever. He gets to shred Camp Woodward all day long. I'm honestly pretty jealous. Up the hill, there's some pump tracks, some dirt tracks, and even a go-kart track right next to the school. That's right, they literally let you go-kart here. How sweet is that? But anyways, let's get back to riding now. Moving up towards the center of Camp Woodward. We've now reached one of the most unique outdoor skate parks that I've ever seen. This is Town Center. The amount of lines that you can link at this park is seriously just never ending. This park has a little bit of everything. A healthy mix of rails, banks, hips, step-ups, and so many other unique ramps that I can't even explain. You could probably spend the entire day just riding this park and still not have learned all the lines and ramps. I should also mention the view from this park specifically is outstanding, especially as the sunset goes over the range. Frank has returned. He just can't get enough of this video. What can I say? As a quick side note, down there is Bud's Barn, which is where we're staying, and it's taking me an hour to go through the parks I've gone through so far. It's kind of crazy. It's already 8 a.m. and I haven't even scratched the surface on all of the parks here. On to the next park. Right next to Town Center is the Canteen, where there's an awesome Woodward sign that I had to take advantage of. But now heading inside, this is where we get food, and I should mention this is also one of the few buildings that actually have AC. Backtracking out the doors, there's a pool, and right next to that, there are some showers and some bathrooms, which are really nice because after you've done a long day of riding, you can take a shower, literally without leaving the park. Now back outside, there's a basketball hoop, and scattered all around the land, there are these little Gatorade fill-up stations that have free cold water and Gatorade so you guys can stay hydrated at all times. Now standing here at the basketball hoop and the Gatorade fill-up station, you guys can see all of the camper cabins. There's probably like 20 of these scattered between all the parks. Speaking of parks, let's head over to Egypt. When you first walk in, you definitely get the Egypt vibe because there's a whole bunch of Egyptian artwork all around the park. There's a nice hip, a waterfall rail, which is like super sick. There's a couple hubbas, and there's an awesome door cutout quarter pipe. This park is definitely a cool little chill spot to hang out at and take a load off from riding all of the massive parks that surround it. Because just outside of Egypt, we're gonna now hit the plaza. This park was established in 2010, but if I'm being honest, it looks like it was just built yesterday in comparison to some of the parks I've been to. This entire park is encased by banks and quarter pipes to help you maintain flow, and in the middle of the park, we've got some stair sets and a cool 4 and 5 block set. There's also this super unique bank that looks like a Target. This park has really been made to look like it's taken right out of the streets because there's literal plants and benches in the middle of the park. This gives a real downtown park bench feel. There's even a few unique obstacles like this mini picnic table and cones you can move around. Now rolling not even 20 feet, we've entered the block. This is pretty much a mini kickoff of the plaza. This is a perfect section for you street riders that want to jib around and get a little technical. There's some curved rails and some big old mani pads. There's a small stair set with some handrails and some bank Euro gaps. Now moving our way up the map, we've made it to a park that I've seen in so many videos over the years. This is The Rock. You guys might know this park because of the famous giant hot dog rail. This park has a super nice bowl with rollers and hips and quarter banks, and you can even pop out of the backside and hit this wooden step up, which brings you into some prefab Woodward ramps. There's also a couple stair sets and this little curved rail and this little tiny mini spine. It's actually pretty fun to mess around on. Now flashing back to the map real quick, we're gonna head to a park that you guys have most definitely heard about. We're gonna hit the Mini Mega, which isn't so mini. Very big, very big. This thing is absolutely huge. That view, looking like you're about to drop in, is just insane. There's 3 ramps to choose from. Right now I'm staying on the highest one. Over here is the medium, and right over here is the smallest one. Leading into that is a massive quarter pipe on the other side to do tons and tons of airs on. This ramp is really mind-blowing how big it is. You guys don't even understand how big it is until you're standing right at the top. Look at the amount of wood that took to build this thing. I can't even put into words how big this thing is. Especially in person, it's even bigger than in video. I should mention, it is also like 6 in the morning, so I'm doing this tour when everything is still nice and soaking wet, and we've got the entire park to ourselves. There's literally no one else out here, so I'm walking this all by myself. Almost feels like a little ghost town of skate parks. It's kind of wild feeling, but also a dream come true at the same time. Now, are you guys ready? I saved the best park for last. Taking not even like 10 steps over from the Mini Mega, this is Lot 8. It is probably the most famous park here at Camp Woodward. There are so many high-level competitions that go down here. And of course, there is the unmistakable foam pit in Resi, which has probably seen more worlds first than any other ramp in the entire world. Lot 8 also has a super classy bowl in the back and a huge 9 to 10 foot half pipe to Resi. There's a reason that this park is used for so many competitions. This park is just so good. There are so many unique lines to take and ramps to hit that it just flows so well together. And as I'm sure you guys have seen, there is the famous door gap and waterfall bank to bank, quarter to quarter driveway, and of course the unforgettable 6-foot box jump. Now there is just so much here at Camp Woodward that I just don't simply have enough time to go touch on or explore, so I'm going to leave you guys here at Lot 8 and just simply recommend that you come here and check it out for yourself. As I'll say again, video just never does justice to how amazing something actually is. But on that note, guys, I hope you enjoyed my full Camp Woodward tour. I've never seen a video quite like this, detailing out every single thing that you can ride here. So if you guys liked today's video, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on the next video. I'm going to be dropping a whole bunch of ride videos after this, and I have to say, I landed more tricks in 2 days than I have in the past 2 years. So the next few videos that are going to drop are going to be some of my best videos I've ever put out. But until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.